Hey everybody, it's Joel. That's right, it's me. Normally you'd be listening to episode, well, not normal. I don't know what the fuck I said. That was weird. Anyways, we're not dropping episode 21 this week. We are taking a little break. We need some more time to catch up on recording and personal life stuff. It's none of your fucking business. But thanks for tuning in. This is weirdly aggressive, so I'm sorry for that. But what we are going to do is normally this is a patron-only thing for Oddity Post Show. So we're going to post the Oddity Post Show for episode 20, the Hell Blockers. Normally we do try to get the guest on, but Branson, Carly, and Tim were not available. You hear me say that again in the actual episode. But I was just letting you know we're posting it here so there's not a lull in the break. I know everyone's wondering what happened to Ron. We've honestly just been having a really hard time recasting Paul since his character is for sure dead forever. And the thing that happened at the end of the credits doesn't matter. So rip to Ron and enjoy this post show. And we'll be back with our regularly scheduled episode in 2 weeks with episode 21, Boot Beer, which is going to kick off Arc 4, The Mystery of the Summer Job. Enjoy this. And also, if you like the Oddity Post Show, go subscribe to our Patreon. You can listen to all of them. Also, this one is especially weird and horny. If you've never listened to Oddity Post Show before, get ready. Welcome to the Oddity Post Show. I'm here joined by Branson Reese, Tim Platt, and Carly Minardo.
Hey guys, what's up? This is my character from the episode, Andy.
Oh, there you go.
Something.
That's Carly for sure.
Hello, I am Hunter Gatherer. I'm Hunter Farmer. I am an 11-year-old boy who has a southern accent, but I sharply enunciate my T's.
I'm a big boy.
I am a big boy.
I am a yo-yo.
But yeah, so okay. Sadly, when I recorded the episode with Branson, Tim, and Carly, they were all too busy to do a post show, which makes sense. They're all very busy people. But it's very nice of them to record Hell Blockers. We actually recorded it a while ago.
They didn't even tell us.
I think I recorded it. It was like it was definitely after. Definitely after we recorded all of Arc 1 because I needed to know how Arc 1 ended because I knew they were going to Dalton. So I recorded it sometime when we were doing like Arc 2. I think it was even actually before we recorded the end of Arc 2 for sure because I know I hadn't recorded Jack Package yet.
No, geez, yeah, long time ago.
Yeah, and then so like right now in our recording schedule, even though you haven't heard it, we just recorded our episode 27 with Alex Sanchez, the Tale of the Lonely Igor. That I just emailed Branson, Carly, and Tim about recording part 2 because I didn't just call it part 1 to be an asshole. It is a 2-part tale, and then they will each. So they'll come back for part 2. Once again, it'll be just the 3 of them. And then each of them individually will come on as their character as a guest in the show with the actual main cast. But I needed to get done with Arc 4 because there might be going somewhere else.
Which arc are we on now?
We're going into Arc 5.
Okay. So, gotcha.
So I needed to finish up the Santaland one because that's where they're going next.
Okay.
Santa's Land.
Fun.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it? I don't even remember the full. I've been there.
Zoo and
it's storming.
There's thunder. It's very ominous.
So anyway, I actually did not let they didn't know anything about what was being recorded. and I wanted them to wait a little bit to actually listen, because in game there's some stuff that comes up in Arc 4 where they did find out about Mr. Yellow. Spoilers, but I didn't want them to know about Mr. Yellow from this until they got into like actually knowing about it in like, you know, in their, as their characters. But yeah, so we're just doing we all listen to it, and so we're just gonna talk about it once again. Shout out to Branson, Carly, and Tim. If you have not listened to Critical Bits, I know a lot of people are new to Oddity Roadshow and then our shows in general. I will say, honestly, Tim's probably a little less. Like, you can still listen to it standalone. His is definitely more connected to the overall plot. But Branson and Carly, Branson's is episode 23, Hoagie Allen. Carly's is episode 60, Dear Diary. Both of those are stellar. And then Tim is adjudicator and then in the storyteller. And then Branson's also Infinity Nakedness. But that one, that one's going to spoil so much because that's like...
Yeah, Tim's great too, but it's just more plot, actually.
It's more plot, but like all of them
you can't listen to it out of context.
All of them you can listen to out of context. But Hoagie Allen is one of the fucking most ridiculous things ever. And then Carly's Dear Diary in Critical Bits is like one of the cutest. She plays this little British boy named Cadmium who his superpower is that everyone around him is compelled to tell the truth. And so people keep kidnapping him to try to use his powers to their advantage, but then they fall in love with him, and then they also kind of get caught up in their own problems because they have to tell it. Both very cute and adorable.
Yeah,
Don't we also do violence to the British Crown in that one?
Yeah.
Oh, we did actually. We did. There was Lieutenant Britain. And the Fun Bunch actually destroyed Buckingham Palace in that one.
That one also has biblically accurate angels in it.
Yeah, there's angels.
And Kim is sort of his adopted mom a little bit. And she gains emotions she didn't have. It's a fun one. And then Hoagie Allen is... Like, that's probably the episode I would link people who'd never listened to this show.
Yeah,
that's like the number one. Like,
Hoagie Allen's like a good standalone, and Hoagie Allen's the one that I send to guests whenever I tell them, I'm like, hey, you can do whatever you want in this show. And I know you're going to think there's going to be limits, so just listen to this episode and know that none of this was planned except for the end of it, which I will not spoil because if you haven't listened to it, very good ender. So what y'all thoughts, questions?
it was fucking hysterical.
Yeah, it was great. I thought the theme song was really good.
Yeah.
Sarashu,
I was like, ooh.
who's also a patron, did the Hellblockers theme song, and then also, as we're about to start, we've already recorded all of Arc 4, but I'm going to start to edit Arc 4, and y'all will be hearing it soon. Sarashu also did the music for the Arc 4, which is The Mystery of the Summer Job, and then he did the music for Marlon's theme song, too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Hellblockers, I think it should be up on the Patreon for the Hellblockers theme song already. This was fun, too, because I got to reuse the Worms song from Arc 1, and then also I got to use more of the actual, of the Mr. Yellow song. They got debuted in episode, at the very end, there's like a small clip of it at the end of episode 6.
Did Sarashu do that one, or was that?
That's Jack, that's Jack David,
Cool.
or People Need Goals. They did that one because I got them to do that very early because I knew that Mr. Yellow was going to be there is another name for it that technically you can go see when you look up the song because it's also on Patreon, but I don't want to say it now because it's kind of a spoiler for what comes up in Arc 4.
I won't look at it. Oh,
you know,
we did Arc 4. Yeah,
y'all know. I'm just saying for them. But anyways, Mr. Yellow, and then that's Mr. Yellow is a little shout out to my love of the show Supernatural because the opening big bad in Supernatural was just referred to as the Yellow-Eyed Demon. So I actually did that for that.
This reminded me of True Detective. In general, Yellow King.
Oh yeah.
Yellow King, the creepy.
Yeah, yellow's just a good creepy color for villains.
It is like a weird.
Because I think yellow for a
yellow wallpaper.
Yeah,
the man in the yellow hat.
Yeah.
Squirt is pee.
Boom, got him.
Is that from something or is that
you
just
just saying
No,
that?
that's
From
an internet
science.
thing.
Okay, I was like, what?
But pee is yellow, and that's why it's
Okay,
scary.
I was just like, yo, okay.
I'm flabbergasted.
That's amazing.
You got me on that one. Squirt is pee.
I didn't
It's like the soda.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's not what I thought you meant.
know
Me and Joel were somewhere else,
Yeah,
Allison. That's why we
yeah.
reacted that
There we
way.
go. This
We
makes
were
a
thinking
lot more
of
sense.
something else. Okay.
It makes a lot more sense. Anyways, yeah.
Okay. I really liked Branson's accent in this is so true to like weird Southern kids. And so
Yeah.
the way he really enunciates the character, the fact that he kept disappearing people from existence.
That one I forgot because I made all their character sheets. Some of them, like NetFriend that Carly uses, and I was really happy to get Cobb in there because like I said, I recorded this before we did any of Arc 3.
That was really funny too.
I didn't know that Cobb was not going to be in Arc 3 at all, or Cobb proper. There's a couple of Cobbs in Arc 3. But I did not know that we were going to have an absence of Cobb for a few episodes. So, hindsight, I was very happy we actually got Cobb to call in. And it was honestly, though, I was just like, oh, yeah, she failed this role. Cobb's going to call just to call. It was fun editing it, though, because I recorded it so long ago. I forgot so much of the shit. And I will say what I love about all three of them. Also, if you haven't listened to Rude Tales of Magic or Oh These Stars of Space, those are the shows they're on. Fucking stellar. But I love doing games for all three of them because it really is. A lot of people have like set play styles of the weird bullshit they're gonna bring. Every single time they have like, you know, some kind of thing, but like every single time they do some like new weird shit. And this one was funny because we were talking back and forth on email. And I was like, all right, I don't need too much like nailed down. Just like what kind of characters are each of you gonna play? You're gonna be like a ghost hunting style team. And before Tim could do his patented, I'm gonna flirt with everybody, Carly was like, oh, I want to be the tech genius and I want to be in love with every single person I meet. And I was just like, ha, you fucking took Tim's thing. And she was like, is that Tim's thing? I was like,
yeah,
you know that's Tim's thing. Like, he loves to flirt with people.
I was in just like a one-shot short stream of Etton's Mothman game, and I was in it with Tim, and you get two abilities. And the two abilities he chose were flirting and crab walking.
Yeah.
I was like, a hacker who's whatever. He was like, it was fucking hysterical, but that is his thing.
We did a bonus episode for Critical Bits where Paul's character Jerry never joined the Fun Bunch, and he befriends Branson's character Hoagie Allen. And so the third member of the Fun Bunch was played by Tim, and his fucking superhero was named Puppy Love because he could.
Oh, that's right.
He could flirt expertly with any inanimate object to make it do what he wanted, and then he's pretty good at flirting with people. So not in like a weird, like, you know, Mr. Purple, he can make anyone do what he wants with flirting, but he's just really good at flirting.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's never creepy. It's not
never
really
creepy.
inappropriate.
And then whenever, speaking of the adjudicator, is like this giant cyclops thing that had different tongues that could come out, but he definitely, like, one of the tongues like kept flirting.
Snake, yeah.
Yeah, it was like a snake tongue kept flirting. So it's just, and then also Stir Fry, his character from Rude Tales of Magic, is just a horny little freak.
Love
There's
stir
like
fry.
an episode. And I won't tell the context to spoil anything, but there's this like one where like Branson's the GM of Rude Tales. Branson's GM something, and he's like, I've been in all your heads. He was like, the weird bird motherfucker. You are so perverted. That hole in the ground, I know that turns you on. I know you might not even know it, but I know that's how deep in your subconscious I've been. But yeah, but it's so funny, and I love the concept of his yo-yo work, and that both Andy and Hunter can do everything better than him. We're like, just the scenes of like Hunter talking to Ghost. He's like, I'll use my yo-yo to confirm.
And it's really funny them both, like the really quick like running gags that were established, both at the confessional thing, then the two of them being like in love with each other. The fact that he's always behind the 11-year-old being an 11-year-old and his mom not letting him do stuff. That it was like,
I would not go.
I would not go. I would need my mother's permission.
Because I did tell them up front because I wanted, because in my head, once again, also shout out to Supernatural. There's a group called I think it's Ghost Facers. Hold on. It's the Ghost Facers. So it is a fucking it's a running reoccurring characters. They eventually die like all those Supernatural side characters. But the Ghost Facers are like a ghost hunting group in Supernatural that like the Winchesters keep running into. And eventually like the first one, like, you know, they're like, oh my God, ghosts are real. And then they run into them a few more times. But this is really like heavily based off of that. But I did tell them, I was like, all right, so I'm going to do a thing where this is like a TV show. So at any point, you can just cut to the confessional thing and just say it. And it is fun. I like the gag, too, because they keep trying to, like, one-up each other in the
Oh,
confessionals.
yeah, him knocking on the door is really
the
funny.
The very weird meta style.
Are you done in there?
Yeah. Like, what do you mean? I'll be done late. Yeah. It was very good. Also, like I said, they all know each other and play off each other so well. It's just very fun, weird little side dynamic to get to play with for them.
Everyone, I enjoyed the voices a lot.
They were so good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All three
That's
of
the
them were
most
very
responsible 11-year-old driver I've ever. He's a big boy, though.
His mama taught him.
He's just got phone book strapped to his thing. Oh yeah, but anyway, that's what I was saying before I trailed off. I did make all their character sheets. I forgot that I gave Branson the "What would God do" move.
His bottomed out lowest stat.
Yeah.
So that he would keep killing
intentionally-
people?
Well, because it's really hard to talk to God or
Says you in the Catholic Church.
Get the divination of it, and so that's
Divination.
Divination.
But I love that he did it, and then like fucking 3 minutes later, it was just like, "What would God do?" And
It was really funny. And then what was it? Someone in the chat tells Carly's character to kill herself,
yeah.
and then says, "What? The little one just went Super Saiyan." I love when the little guy goes Super Saiyan. It's so fucking funny. It's really good.
Yeah. No,
What is the mechanic, the what would God do? What does that do when it succeeds? I was curious.
let me
I
look
don't know.
up
Because that didn't happen in the game.
It's like Augury
Perils.
and D&D.
I'm trying to remember. Let me just look up.
I like the really low good positive outcome for this very terrible.
It would be funny if it was like, you get a small sign.
Actually, yeah. I'll look up all their character sheets real quick.
Cool.
Because I did, because like I said, I did custom sheets for all of them. Also, I forgot until like doing the edit that like how Tim said that he has fucking like the spiked punk hair. Okay, Hunter Farmer. Demand Ghost.
Hunter Farmer.
He didn't use this one, but he had Demand Ghost. You can speak with ghosts without. Oh, never mind. I guess he did because you can speak with ghosts without any rolls, but some ghosts are little shits. Roll with plus tough to force ghosts to tell you what they want. On a 10 plus, they are compelled to tell you the truth. On a 7 to 9, they have to tell you what you want, but will fight it. And you take 1 harm. To know if they're lying or not, and on a fail, the ghost takes you with them on to complete their unfinished business that appears as a brand on your body until you finish it for them. What would God do? Ask yourself, what would God do? Roll plus sharp to get divination inspiration. 10 plus, it works with no drawbacks. So you just get to like straight up. Just get like it is. What were you talking about for
Augury?
Yeah, it is. It's just like you just fucking know what to do. 7 to 9, it works, but at a physical at a cost to the physical world. And then 1 to 6, one person with a 3-mile radius of you is burned from existence.
Cheryl.
And her husband,
Her unnamed husband.
her unnamed husband.
But he wasn't that
He,
great.
he wasn't. Once again,
He was on the
wasn't-
upswing.
He wasn't bad, but he didn't like. There was no like really net gain or loss, but there was with Cheryl, and Cheryl was better without him. And then Rat Tail Blade, like all 11-year-olds, you hide a switchblade in your rat tail. Use this switchblade to cut down any foe that are alive. It can act as an extension of your rat tail like a whip. When you kick some ass with your rat tail blade, it ignores all protection and armor, and it causes 2 harm wholly. So he just had a really good.
I like that the rat tail is also a divine weapon. In addition to like all this sort of other stuff, like oh by the way, holy damage.
It was true though that he did die. He talked to God, and God, because I asked Branson, I was like, "Do you want that to be true?" And he was like, "It's up to you." And I was like, "No, it's 100% true. People don't believe it, but like Hunter did die and talk to God, and God said you shouldn't be blamed for."
Pushing that boy in the pool.
And then
And you don't have to do your homework
and you don't
anymore.
have to do your homework.
It'd be funny if that was a lie. The rest of it was true.
God just knew that homework's fucking dumb in the long run, and it's just busy work for no reason. So Andy had net friends.
Hey, it normalizes working after hours for no pay.
Yeah,
Wait,
Andy.
before we go to Andy, did anyone here have a rat tail?
Yeah.
No. Wait.
Ooh.
I think I had a
Interesting.
very short, both short-lived and short in length rat tail, because I remember I had a shaved head for like kindergarten and first grade, because it was just cheaper for my mom to just shave all of our heads, and I think I had like the very small makings of a rat tail, but never went full tail.
Paul clearly went full tail. How
Yeah.
long was it?
It went under my shirt at times.
Jesus, how long did you have it for?
Not long.
How old were you?
I was like 9 to
Okay,
11.
that's the appropriate age for a rat tail.
No, at the age when you do that.
Do kids still do that?
I don't care.
Probably. Mullets are back right now. Kids for sure probably do rat tails. Like fashion's cyclical. It's gonna.
Yeah.
For Andy, there's Net Friends. I just pulled that from the flake. You heard her use it.
That's where Cobb came from.
Yeah, and then Ghost is, as you also heard, you can roll with sharp instead of cool for act under pressure, but you have to like overdo it, just like in all the Ghost shows. Hey, I'm Andy. ... Roll plus charm to distract the target and engage them to find out if they are the one. On a 10 plus, the target is fully transfixed on Andy and stays in the conversation as long as she's still talking. 7 to 9, the target is focused on Andy, but Andy must mark 1 harm from the mental toll of the conversation. And on a fail, Andy finds the love of her life, but they want nothing to do with her.
Oh, that's rough.
Those are hers. Also, if anyone gives a shit, Hunter Farmer was -2 charm, +0 cool, -2 sharp, +3 tough, +3 weird.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Andy was +1 charm, -1 cool, +2 sharp, +1 tough, +0 weird. And Greg Dead, the glue that held the hell blockers together.
The trio.
Much as that
You could say
bicycling
they
suit held him
you could say they
together.
were a trio, as well. I think they would say.
I said a lot of times.
That was the funniest. They're like, hey,
coming up, yeah.
we're a trio. It's like, you know what? Yeah, they're so fucking good. He was +0 charm, +3 cool because of the yo-yo. -1 sharp, +0 tough, +1 weird. Yo-yo
Because of
time.
the yo-yo again, yeah.
So yo-yo time, roll with +cool instead of tough to kick some ass if you're using your yo-yo. Also, I love that he used the gun at the end.
Guns are always funny. I did that a lot.
So funny. I didn't tell him that he had a gun, but I just loved it. He was like, and I pull out my gun. Yeah.
I guess that's strong. I did that a lot.
There's yo-yo language, which he used the whole time, and he actually always got a full success. And that, like, I think I explained it in there. Like, if he 10 plus, you get like a pretty convenient but temporary power. 7 to 9, you get a power that's useful as it is useless. And on a 1 to 6, the yo-yo takes over Greg Dead temporarily, and Greg has no recollections of when the yo-yo takes him over.
Oh, that would have been fun.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
happen, right?
Didn't happen.
We got options for that. That'll come up later.
And
These
then,
character sheets are live. We'll see that.
And then connect with the audience, roll with +cool when interacting with the general public and interviewing them for the show. You roll +cool. On a 10 plus, you're able to get any information out of them you need to, and they like you. On a 7 to 9, they give you some information, but it comes at a cost. On a 1 to 6, you fail, and they will attack you for what you say. I made this very specifically for like each of them as players, thinking they have fun. But anyways, I am so personally happy that Branson's character burned 2 people completely out of existence.
It was so funny that he did it so soon and immediately killed, like, deleted someone else.
Yeah.
I want to say
he doesn't
too.
know in game. He just wanted that ecto cooler.
That was the ecto cooler stuff was really funny too.
Oh,
Before
yeah,
I
shout out to
forget, I want to
Ecto
say I was happy to see some Dalton characters again.
Yeah, it was good to go back.
Yeah. Paul talked about in the Discord where he was just like, "What'd you say about the?"
I believe you really took the fun out of Deacon by
Yeah,
having him with his trauma-informed
The whole
car sales.
reason that was the other plan behind it, as I wanted to show like the destruction of y'all's wake. It's not from you, but it's just like you're like, oh, we saw that the town's okay, and it's like, no, they're not. Everyone was traumatized.
We made it better.
Yeah, you made it better. I'm not saying you.
It would have been worse if we weren't
But
there.
I like that idea because it's especially at it's the end of the horror movie. Like, well, we made it. It's like cool. All the survivors are alive. That is good. I'm not saying it's bad, but they all have horrible trauma, and we did get to show that you remember everything when the worm took you over. So like Deacon remembers killing his wife and his coworkers. And is just like terrified. I liked the idea that I like the ghost loop thing that they don't know at first.
And the 11-year-old callously breaking them out of.
You're dead. Get over. I have to ask you questions.
I also liked that how Branson dealt with like the leftover business or whatever. He was like, it's not worth it. Usually they tell you it's one thing and then you do it and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So like we don't even try anymore.
Yeah.
That's what was so fun because like literally we were started to record the episode. And before we got into the actual episode, I was like, all right, what do y'all want your name to be? And like, they just threw out a bunch of random names. I believe it was actually Tim that said Hell Blockers. And
Boy, did they get mileage out of that.
and then I think it was either Tim or Andy, Tim or Carly, and then one of them came up with the tag of like we block the living from the perils of hell, and we're like that's it, we got it, let's move on. But yeah, no, it was very fun just to, because like I said, they're a very easy group to riff with, and I've played with them enough, and they know my style. Well, I kind of explained it to them, but I did tell them, I was like, yeah, we're gonna show how bad off all the NPCs are. So like, we got to see Gabriella and Caroline again. And then Gabriella, even in the high stakes situation where I've done, was still very hot and hitting on Andy, and that was no.
I love that. We're very open.
Yeah.
That's
So she's
awesome.
just like, oh, your wife is like, oh, we will fuck you, and she's like, all right, cool, yeah. Poor Deacon though.
I feel like the Hell Blockers have a cool logo.
Yeah. I bet they do.
I'm envisioning like it's HE double hockey stick.
Well, I mean, they got that TikTok,
Hell.
Yeah.
freeform
Blockers.
money. Also, I just love fucking Tim. I love playing with him so much because he's so good at role play and so good at making himself look dumb. Where he's just like, it was like, it seems like Greg is planking or something like that. And I love it. It's just like, he's so good at shooting himself in the foot. Once again, going back to critical bits, Tim and Shelby, our old cast member, have a very similar play style
R.I.P.
of rip. Of Shelby referred to it as minning, of just like the most useless way you could do something. That's what her goal is for like role play, but it makes for a very funny character. And I love Greg Dead and just like how ridiculous he was. I did kind of wish that the yo-yo was going to take over him. That would have been funny.
There's still time.
Yeah.
I went to a bar in San Diego where they had, it was like a 90s themed pinball bar or something, and they had like a glass case with a man doing very impressive yo-yo tricks.
Like a cage dancer?
That's
but
crazy.
it was like a window display wall.
I was going to say, I
thing.
feel like you need a lot more room than like
Well, I don't know what was there when the yo-yo man wasn't there. I assume he's not
Just
in
a
there.
yo-yo sitting
all
on
the
hanging on a
time.
string.
yeah.
But they were like, this is the performance space where the drunk assholes in the bar can't mess with the yo-yo guy. And he had,
yeah,
of
I
course,
bet
he
you
had
get a
on
lot of
like
guys going,
fingerless gloves and like a backwards baseball hat.
That feels such like a Greg Dead thing too.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
immediately what I thought of. And I was like, this person exists. I've met them or seen them through a glass.
That's so fucking
Window.
ridiculous.
I would have been like, what? Especially
I
if
would
I
just
was
watch-
drunk. I would
I
have been
would
like,
have been
whoa.
so into it, and it would start ironically and then get very sincere.
Yeah, whatever. It's some like 90s game or retro game bar in San Diego. I'm sure it's known. Sometimes there's a yo-yo guy there, apparently.
The 90s, a time where it's like impeccable fashion and it's great. Yeah, we should all have nostalgia for that.
Did any of you go to yo-yo demonstrations when you were younger?
No.
No.
Oh.
What was what's the guy that plays fucking Colin Robinson and What We Do in the Shadows?
Oh, I know what you're about to talk about. Yeah. I don't know his name.
Oh,
He's also
yeah,
the guy
his
in
bit.
Better Call Saul.
Yeah. Hold on.
I think this is why Vince Gilligan hired him, right? What you're about to talk about.
Yeah. What's his fucking name? Yeah, because
He's just hysterically
Back
funny.
in the day,
there it is.
they
Mark
would-
Prosk.
Mark Prosk.
He used to fucking everybody. We won't talk about this too long because it's way funnier to see. Look up K Strass, K-STRASS, or because I think it was like Kenny Strass. And this is not. He went to actual fucking local news stations all over and said that he was like a yo-yo person, like a yo-yo artist, that like went to schools and shit like that to like help kids stay off of drugs. And so it was just like him talking about all this shit and just not being able to do yo-yo tricks and just being so weird and awkward because it's so easy to get on these fucking local news stations.
It's very Colin Robinson vibes of like draining the
It's the
morning show hosts of their
funniest,
will to learn.
weirdest shit ever. Just go look up.
I don't think I can watch it because I cringe too easily.
very
But it's a funny
awkward.
story. Vince Gilligan you could probably find a clip of him talking about
Yeah,
it.
it's just him going on like, and he's not like trying to do anything weird. He's not saying, he's just like, yeah, we're here to like, keep kids off of drugs and show them like, there's like good activities you can do. Or you want to see a walk the dog, and it's just him like not being able to fucking yo-yo. And like it was so hard for me not to picture that him doing it when Greg Dad was doing his yo-yo tricks.
I always they would have demonstrations at toy stores, and my mom was like, "Oh, a free thing to take my children to,
Yo-yoing
and
is
for them to be
fucking
entertained."
hard.
It is
hard.
It is.
Where do they get off making it that hard?
Well, I mean, the yo-yo people probably get off when the thing comes back up on the string all by itself, and then goes back like that's probably.
You think they're coming that much?
I mean, I don't think.
The yo-yos go up and down a lot, Paul. They're going to be
I don't think
dehydrated.
they come every time, but like maybe.
This makes me feel better about saying squirt is pee and knowing the context.
I was drinking when she said that. I
Yeah.
almost spat it out.
You said it's squirt. Beverage sponsor.
It's in,
Oddity
I
Roadshow.
looked it up while we're here, just making sure that I was not misspeaking. It is a thing from a meme group I was in, but I have no idea how niche it was, apparently.
Well, I just
So-
thought you meant.
Yeah, I know what you thought I meant.
Yeah.
Anyways, Paul just said the yo-yo company comes every time it goes up.
Not
so.
that company.
But I'll say this: if you just type into Google "squirt is pee,"
No, I know, I did that too.
it's just talking about
No.
whenever someone with a vagina does squirt, that it is mostly pee, but also some ejaculate.
It was in a Twin Peaks.
Oh my god! It's the fish in the percolator, but it's
Don't
edited.
drink the squirt. You'll never guess, but squirt is mostly pee.
There was a pee in the squirt. That's how he'd say it.
So I didn't make it up. But apparently, yeah, I Googled it too and was like, oh no, is this real? And then I went back to my meme group and
Yeah.
but maybe it's like 20 people.
I
know
do
that.
think
don't know.
that is from the fact that people are talking about originally squirting the act of the vagina that the vagina does is pee, and then they talk about the drink squirt. I think it's like evolved from the
That's
fact
my
that
Well, it
assumption.
came
squirting is
from the
pee.
pee is stored in the balls.
Yes, then the
Yeah.
beverage squirt
And then
is
squirt
then stored
came
in
from-
or any number of lemon lime sodas can be stored in
Yeah.
the balls. Really,
Squirt's a bad name for a soda.
It's weird.
Yeah, they really
Has not aged
I
well.
don't.
they didn't know about porno words
I
back
feel
then. when they
I don't.
invented the
Yeah,
soda.
it's just like what they just got like 3 dudes that have just lived in a cave forever, and they're like, well, yeah, you guys need a job. What do you want to name this soda? Like Squirt. They're like, do you have a second name? They're like, Come. They're like, all right, first one it is.
It's jizz with 3
Yeah.
Z's.
I always
Yeah.
think of, I don't know if it's like a dating app thing or like a gross Facebook comment of this old guy, but he says, I want to make you squirt with an A. Whenever he
Squirt?
writes something,
Oh,
squirt.
no.
So I always think of that. It makes me laugh. I want to make you squirt.
I haven't
Right.
seen that. That's great.
Squart guy.
Does he have like a know your meme page?
Yeah, I just typed it in. Squart guy is the nickname of OkCupid user Papapaka, who gained notoriety for his online dating profile describing his sexual fantasies in explicit details, combined with numerous spelling and grammatical errors on Tumblr and other cringe-themed communities. Oh yeah. Oh, that fucking guy. The face that this man has.
Does he kind of look like Wilford Brimley? That's what I'm picturing. Or is he like
He is a large man, very very hairy, and it's like the weird up angle bad
The
shot.
boomer.
Yeah, the boomer shot. This is from years ago, and even at the time he was 40. This was I believe.
Well, he claims to
Trying to see
be.
when this
It
was
could
from.
also,
He could
this
be
could also
60.
be
Where
a
is he
weird
now?
op.
Yeah, where is he
Yeah.
now?
What's
Tell
the
me
exact
that.
line though?
He was in Honolulu though, so I mean he could make me squirt if
Making
he
people
wants
squirt
to.
in Honolulu.
If he wants to fucking pay
Fly
for
you
my.
to Hawaii.
I don't know where Squirt guy
Joel,
is.
listeners, Joel will squirt for a trip to
I
Hawaii.
assume
Squirt squatch. Saw squirt? No.
I would probably squirt if you want to give me an all expenses, at least 2-week vacation in Hawaii, and at least half of the vacation I don't have to be with you if I don't want to.
What is squirting though?
I mean,
I don't know.
Oh,
we
it's
don't
just
know.
squirting.
I mean, it's just
Oh,
squirting.
oh.
He just didn't.
He's just wrong.
It's
I
just,
thought it was
it's
maybe-
just riddled with spelling errors.
A squirt fart?
Here, let me. This is.
I mean, I don't know.
Branson, Carly, and Tim would. I love life. Like to make people happy, and I love to eat all day long. Sunsets are my 5 art. I also love walking down the beach on a full moon. Bring something for you to need. Wait. Bring something for you to need on, and you will see stars and a whole, like HOLE, lit more. Like, a lot of exclamation marks after his smiley face. I like having sex out in public. It turns me on. My last girl, she loved to show off her nice body. When we go camping, we will leave the top off and the door open. I also love to ride my Harley. Also, I'm very well hung. See, here's the thing. Everything else except for also I'm very, that's the only thing not in caps.
Oh.
That's my self-summary.
Also,
I'm very well hung. What I'm doing with my life. I want to find someone who likes to go to the beach. I like my big cock.
I mean, like, look, you gotta love yourself first.
I like my big cock to dive, fish, surf, pick shells. Most of all, I look to take care of my girl, long as she knows how to take care of me.
No, this is just a drill tweet that someone turned into an OkCupid profile.
Oral sex is very important in a healthy relationship. Oral sex is very important in a healthy relationship. I know she will be real happy when she see my big fat. And this is the funny, he like dashes at that. You already said, you talked about your cock already. I'm getting honey just thinking about it. Have to jump in the water. Boy, oh boy, it's a nice day today. I'm really good at fixing anything Harley, race cars, boats. I can just fix about anything. I'm looking for a nice fat hole to spend a lot of time on. That's what I like to work on every day and night. I have a lot of time off work, so I hope I finds something worth I like. The first thing people usually notice about me, I hope it's the cock.
His dick.
I bet this guy likes to fight. Before, maybe now, I'm just a lover. Day and night, it's so much easier in life to get along with someone than it is to fight and argue. It makes you look and feel BT. Live Robert, your son. 06/22/2012. The 6 things I can never do without. Love. Ohana. Making love. Air. Water. My mind. I spent a lot of time thinking about if I'm going to make you squirt across the room. Now that turns moi on. Nothing like having the best.
So if you're squirt guy,
I
get
like how
at
when
us.
Joel hesitates.
I'm not hesitating because obviously he's trying to say orgasm, but like OEGAMIOM.
Oegium.
Nothing like having the both oegium in the world every day. Yeah, baby.
I choose to believe that was done in the Austin Powers accent.
On a typical Friday night, I am going fishing or night diving. Sometimes take the Harley for a cruise. That what I'm talking about, the most private thing I will admit to. If I told you, it would not be very private. Now would it? And
that's the proprietary nature after he's talked about making you squirt.
Hope that.
His big fat cock.
What's his private thing? Also, he's looking for girls who like guys ages 18 to 50 that are near him, and he's also here for new friends and casual sex.
I've seen so many worse people on dating.
Honestly, some of what he said was very healthy.
He seems
oral sex is very important.
If his politics aren't bad, he seems nice.
Honestly, once again, Hawaii's tight. I haven't been there, but I saw a bunch of beautiful pictures of it. He, especially too, because there's like whole TikTok accounts like dedicated to just reading men's Tinder profiles. Especially now, they're just off. That guy, he's got a big fat cock, y'all. He wants to.
Well hung.
He wants to.
The way you said "well hung" sparks joy.
That's what it wasn't. That I was like thrown off. I was just like, I don't know how to mispronounce the spelling. It was.
We did it phonetically. That may not be right.
But you know what else is important to him? Ohana.
Yeah,
and love and make him love.
Means family.
Also air.
Yeah, I want to emphasize, it's not like making fun of him for being enthusiastic about sex. It's just weird. Yeah. Combined with this picture and the fact that it's squirt, that's why he's a meme. It's very funny.
Though, I bet this guy has fucked a bunch. I bet he's just cleaned it up. Like, especially if he's
he's getting with all the squirt everywhere he's got to.
You can tell that guy's making you squirt.
Yeah. Joel's jealous.
Squirt just sounds.
It's
Squirt
so gross.
sounds like an '80s cartoon cat.
It's like Snarf.
Hey, it's me, Squirt. You're like, oh, Squirt. All the ladies love you.
I did not know I would derail everything this much by talking about the squirt guy.
I think.
But I think of that every time I see
didn't
people talk
know.
about
I
squirting.
think if any of the three, Branson, Carly, or Tim, were here and Squirt Man got brought up, they would want us
Oh yeah.
to do this. Yeah.
I'm sure they all know about the squirt.
Anyway, thanks to our
I didn't know
sponsor,
he was in
Squirt,
Hawaii.
which comes in quartz
I
now.
laughed so hard I started crying.
But yeah, I don't think it's a meme thing like being like, look at this dumb fuck.
No,
just
it's the
like, It's just so
enthusiasm.
ridiculous. Because I will say, if I met that guy at a bar and once again his politics weren't bad, and I just hear him screaming about all this shit, I'm like, man, that's fucking crazy. Do you want to do shots? Also, if this was like old school job, like, do you want to go do the cocaine I know you have on you in the bathroom and then just scream?
Yeah, well, I'm pro sex positivity. I also just think, obviously, if you're going to post a picture of yourself associated with you talking about these things on the internet,
Yeah.
things might happen.
Yeah.
Also, once again, there's so many worse men dating profiles now. Where this
And always.
Yeah, and always. But this guy's just a good guy trying to make you squirt.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of people aren't willing to put in the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my friends, so I was on OkCupid back in the day because I got peer pressured into it.
Trying to get squirted.
No.
Trying to squirt.
I did not. Now I am. Now that I know this.
Now you know. Back then I didn't know that's what I wanted it for.
But my friend that like had me make a profile with her
Wait.
got a message. She made a profile. I was like, you have to be on here. You're single. And I was like, I don't really want to. And she was like, it's fun. And it,
Was this like pre like Tinder and Bumble? Like
Yeah,
whenever
yeah,
OkCupid
yeah.
was like the main one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she got a message from a guy, and it just was all caps. Did a flyby, kept flying. And we just would quote that to each other forever. Because he looked at her profile, and that was.
So he's trying to say, I checked you out. I'm good.
And I'm not
Look at
interested.
This one. We're
Nagging.
eating this
He was
weird
nagging you
little
from
like koala
online.
Japanese
It's koala's
candy.
merch.
It's not squat related. I'm sorry to derail the podcast,
What is
but
it?
it's a weird worm
Let
next
my
to a
react-
Oh my
koala
god,
head
it's a koala worm.
Take a picture for
Normally-
the
I guess
You
they
can
got
take a
tired
picture,
of
my
it.
phone's
It'll be
off.
like a koala with a tennis
Son,
racket.
Put that in the Discord in the bonus
A
channel.
koala
Send
with a
over.
graduation
Yeah, that
cap.
shit's weird.
That one's a worm. That's really weird.
I never did OkCupid personally, but my weird OkCupid story.
It just says 10.
Maybe it's a 10-year anniversary.
there's
thing or
numbers
something.
on. There's a clock on.
Okay,
the top
there
of
we
the
go.
box.
My weird OkCupid story is an old roommate of mine. They're not a listener, so they're definitely not a patron. He hadn't dated in a long time. He only had like one long-term girlfriend, and he was just like a little nervous. And he ended up dating this girl for like 2 or 3 years. But he didn't know. He like sent the first message. She responded. He didn't know what to respond with. I wrote the first 10 messages for him to her, like back and forth, because it wasn't like all at once. Because like OkCupid's like kind of like, you know, for those of you that do not know, because I know we have a lot of younger listeners, it's not like as like instant messagey as like you know, Tinder and Bumble and shit are. It's like more like email based. But I did write the first like I think like 10 or so messages, maybe a little under, of like the responses back, and just being like, all right, so this is what you're gonna say. Here's this. Like it was like in his voice and stuff. He just didn't know what to say, and I was like, no, here, this is some good stuff for you. Anyways, here you go. And then they did date for years, and then I asked him later. I was like, can I tell her? He was like, no, never.
No, Cyrano, you absolutely
Yeah, I
can't
was gonna
tell her.
say, just serenade him.
It would have been fucking funny. Whatever. I hope that I made both of them squart through a third party. I didn't personally do it. My words helped them leading to the squarting.
It's called Squirting as a Service. It's my new tech company.
Yeah.
I never met anyone from it, but I made a friend of because I also said I was interested in friendship, and I did make a friend.
Yeah.
I made a friend too who ended up being a Critical Bits fan. I'm not saying who it was, but I met someone through it who we had at the time a mutual friend, and we went on one date and it didn't work out, and he was just really nice.
They did say that or some reason I don't know. The question that most likely meant that you would actually date was whether you liked horror movies or not. And if
That
you
makes
had the
sense.
same
Yeah,
answer,
that kind of makes
that was
sense.
a really big indicator of
Yeah.
With a sense of
that's
humor and
interesting.
like
I
what
went
you're willing
on-
to tolerate, and
Now to talk about still not hell blockers.
which was a great episode.
Great
we assure
episode.
you.
We'll get back to it. You already listened to it though, so you know how good we did. Though I went on multiple like Tinder and Bumble dates. The wildest one is I saw Allison out. We were not on a date together. I was on a Tinder date. We met at a bar called Argosy, and we were just sitting at the bar. And then like Allison saw me, was gonna come say hi, but was like waiting because she could tell I was on a date. And so like my date gets up, goes to the bathroom, and she was like, "Oh, I didn't want to." She was like, "What's up? Can I say hi?" And I was like, "Okay, no, it's just the first date. We're on Tinder. I'll introduce you to her when she comes back." And she like walks up and goes, "Okay, well, I guess I'll leave," and just starts taking her stuff. I was like, "Whoa, no." This is my friend Allison, who was also at this public bar on a Friday night.
Yeah, we're
red
having
flag,
dinner, like, on the
Jesus
patio.
Christ.
Packed out.
Hey Joel, you made a mistake stopping this person. You should have let her just pack up and go. But
Well,
That's not what he did.
That's not what I did.
Oh,
I saw the red flags, and then we continued, and then I was just like, whatever, we'll finish up the date. And then we got pretty drunk, and then she pretty much was just like, so do you want to go back to your place and fuck? And I was like, yeah. But here's the thing, we both could tell it's not gonna. She did tell. She's like, if you enjoyed this, we can hook up again. Also, I'm fine if not. And I was like, we'll see. I knew, but also, I was like just out of like a relationship. Yeah. But that was like one of the craziest responses.
Yeah,
Oh.
I was like, well, because I feel like if I see a guy friend out on a date, I think a lot of times if I come up and say, hey, and like establish, hey, he's not a serial killer.
Yeah.
He has friends.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
if
am
the
one
person
of them.
isn't crazy
Yeah.
jealous.
Right. Then that's usually like a plus. But
Yeah.
she was
She
very,
was just ready to be like, well, I guess you're gonna fuck this person.
she like, I don't think she ever made eye contact with
No.
me.
Wow.
I was like, hey, I'm
Yeah.
Allison, nice to meet you. And she like just looked past me
Yeah.
like, hey. I was like, all right, have fun, you guys. Good to see you.
Yeah.
I am the person I was just talking about. I was at a coffee pub bar, and I saw him talking to a woman. I didn't talk to him for the exact same reason. I messaged him later,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Oh, that's my friend. She's a lesbian."
Yeah.
You should have said hello. I was like, "Oh, okay."
It was funny because I do remember because Alice was like, "How's it go?" I was like, "Oh, it's a little weird. We'll see." And she was like, "Well, I will be out in the village. So if it doesn't go well, hit me up." I was like, "Okay." If it doesn't, and then like I think like a day or two later, like I was like, "Oh, she's just fucking completely out there." We went back and had sex, but we'll never talk again. She was like, "Oh, I figured I didn't hear from you again."
Which that's like that's so foreign to me. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, well, we knew we'd never see each other again and really weren't interested, but we did hook up. I'm like, what?
Yeah, you're already there.
yeah, I mean, they make some. I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
I at
That's
least
not-
understand
Doesn't-
this.
no,
yeah.
That
me.
aspect isn't weird to me. That isn't that alien to my experience. This person's clearly unhinged. For me, it
that
would be the okay. I need to not. Whereas Joel's making a face like, "What are you talking
I
about?"
don't know how else you're supposed to fill your well up.
Oh no, I brought it. That's my fault.
I don't know what you're supposed
No,
to
and
do.
I know that people do that, and I know it's not weird. I don't. Like, if
Yeah.
I'm not emotionally attracted to a person, I'm not sexually attracted to them. So
No, I don't want to date people I'm not emotionally or mentally attracted to. But like, this was also like very
therapy.
pre-therapy Joel, very like.
I mean, no, a lot of my friends,
Yeah, so it was just.
not just dude
Yeah.
friends, would be in that situation and be like, "Ooh,
Which
I'm
is
going
like,
home with this person."
I already, this date wasn't that great, but I can get temporary physical validation that this person wants to fuck me. I might feel bad tomorrow, but that's never. The concern is never later. It's the immediate now.
That's
Like,
future Joel's problem.
that well's got to fill itself, baby.
That's
No
just
time to
that
patch
it's-
these holes.
Allison has zero motivation in that category.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, the second someone did that insane jealous bit, I would be like, okay, I'm not attracted to you anymore. That you're gonna come kill my cat or
Especially-
something. Like
especially-
it freaks me
Basic
out.
instincts
Especially at
are-
that
Yeah, yeah.
time, at that time, and any younger, even more so. If that woman reacted like that and was like, "Oh, also my family's going to Hawaii next week. If you want to go," I'm like, "Fuck yeah, let's go."
I'm about to squirt.
We're about
just
to
thinking
squirt.
about it.
We're gonna meet that guy. And
We're gonna
have a-
go.
We
Yeah,
gotta
my
find the squirt
Harley.
guy and have a
we're gonna
three-way.
get on this guy's Harley. He's gonna make both of us squirt.
What's the Glenn Close Rabbit movie? What is that movie?
That's Basic Instinct,
Is
right?
that? Oh, I don't remember.
Or no,
It's Fatal Attraction.
Fatal Attraction.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
the bunny
yeah.
boiler. Haven't seen
Uh,
either. I think it would disturb me too much.
I saw them both when I was too young to understand what was happening, and I haven't revisited
Wow,
them.
especially Basic Instinct with that one.
It was very confusing.
Yeah, sure. There's a lot of themes in those films.
Back to the show. I don't think Greg Dead has ever made anyone come.
Wow.
Not even
it's
when
like
the yo-yo takes over his body.
That's not Greg Dead. That's the yo-yo.
So the yo-yo has made someone
Yo-yo
come.
Greg Dead is making
Has
people
he dated?
smart left and right. He definitely
Has he
was
even dated?
trying to.
Well, he's dated Andy.
They did say that
Canonically.
today. I bet
the
the
show.
Greg Dead's dated some in it, like prior to this. Hold on. I wonder if Tim's online right now.
Yeah, he'll want
what's-
to
I'll be like, well,
talk
Joel.
about this.
Joel's
Let's
get on the-
logging
let's
into
go
Tell him
OkCupid.
this show is much more adult.
Hi.
What's the
Hi.
best
Oh, look,
way?
Twitter. You've got a few
Thanks
hundred
for being
tweets
on
left
an
today to
adult
look
show.
Also, I want to say, if you're in New York, Branson does comedy all the time there, and he'll tweet about
Also,
it. Just go to his shows and watch
You talking
Swan
about Tim or
Boy.
Branson?
Oh, sorry, Tim.
Yeah.
Tim. Branson is not in
I
New York
don't-
anymore.
I'm not logging onto the critical bits thing. Hold on, let me log into the Twitter. I don't know an existing account. Yeah. Tim does Made of Bugs a lot, and then what? Just sorry, we cannot. What do you mean you can't find
Is
my
Twitter down?
Oh, never mind. I changed it.
You gotta pay. You gotta pay $5 to log in.
Yeah.
every time.
No, I changed it to do you validate. What's the password on it?
I think it's wild that he decided to kill Twitter just in time to really spike the launch of Do You Validate. That's rude.
I mean, I know, like, it doesn't really fucking matter, but, like, I am bummed because that Twitter was the best way for us to connect to
Yeah.
fans and other podcasts. And, like, when we first launched, we got so many early fans and connections because of Twitter, and no other site has even come close to that. So, like, it's also just annoying that I know, like, speaking of Branson's like being like, yeah, I got a lot of my fucking fame from Twitter, and a lot of his, like, he gets a lot of, like, book sales and t-shirt sales and like website hits from Twitter. And he was like, yeah, it's funny watching the site die, but also it's gonna hurt my financial career and probably be unrecoverable. I don't know. Let me see if I can message him on.
Maybe we shouldn't let private individuals to have so much power that they can collapse entire channels of conversation. No, you're probably right.
Yeah, I mean, by the time this drops, I don't think it'll be relevant, but the Triangle Agency Kickstarter campaign is about to wrap on the 6th.
Yeah.
And it's huge, and it's like, you want to do a big final push, and the fucking website's broken.
Oh no.
I feel, yeah, I'm not going to say this publicly because I don't want to be a downer about it. It's still doing, really. It's already over like
Kickstarter's
$250,000.
broken?
No,
Or
Twitter's,
oh.
I mean, that's how you like push
Oh,
it.
okay, sorry.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
beginning and the end of the Kickstarter campaigns are the biggest.
Yeah, because
You've
you're like,
never
hey,
seen a Twitter Kickstarter
this
on
is, This is
Facebook.
all the extra
Yeah.
shit that's already been unlocked.
Yeah, let's do it. And I'm still trying to push it. I did the video for that campaign, and it is doing well.
That's
But I
really
was like,
fun.
I'm hoping we can crack 300
Yeah.
grand. But it's like that's the main place to promote
Yeah,
this
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. TTRPG LinkedIn is really high.
Yeah, they're real hot. Yeah, but I don't think Greg Dead. Some of the messages probably not gonna respond because
this is a
But
stupid
I think
question.
Greg Dead
Yeah.
probably hasn't made anyone come. I bet Yo Greg Dead has made people come. I bet Andy is a very generous lover and cares. And then Hunter is 11.
11, yeah.
So definitely has it, and we won't talk about that. But yeah. So, anyways, any more questions?
Then we got the big bad.
Yeah, so yeah,
Mr. Yellow
Mr.
eating dirt.
Yeah, Mr. Yellow is the big bad.
It's scary.
He's very spooky. I like doing. It was fun to I like Monster of the Week because I like it's like more cinematic style, and I like doing all like the cold opens and the after the credit scenes because I get to tease and like show a lot more of like the greater like, you know, world and the story. But I like this one because it was very fun to just like straight up get to be like, this is the big bad of the show. I didn't tell them going in that, hey, I'm introducing the big bad in your episode. I told them afterwards, I was like, oh, that's the first time you get to see who like the main enemy of the whole show is. But I got to focus so much on him and just make him so fucking weird and scary. And so I think from the listening standpoint, it was definitely something I was thinking about. I was like, I would be so fucking into this. And then also, you don't get to see Mr. Yellow for a long. You'll see he'll come back in Hellblockers Part 2, and then in like the main show, and then like I said, Arc 4, he gets brought up to the actual like main characters. But it's a very fun for people like, oh shit, they could die.
I like that he was sort of chill talking to Andy. I like that aspect of he's like trying to be nice to her or whatever, like the human facade.
Yeah.
I like that he wasn't just like straight up super weird, because that means he's got like emotional intelligence.
Yeah. I think
it's a lot scarier than Bamman, who is easier to manipulate.
That's what I'm saying. It's a lot scarier. It's a lot scarier than like easily pushable or like megalomaniacs, where you're like, oh fuck, you'll wait like 2 fucking years just to get somebody with like in a space where they don't know, and just like also just like that's why I was like, he's just walking into town, because obviously it wasn't said explicitly, but like he's tracking the van.
Yeah.
Like at this point, you will have heard, the van's name is for sure Stefan. That is in the show, but like he is tracking Stefan, so that is why like. He's gonna show back up, and it was this Cherokee, right? Is where, yeah. So, but he will like, even though you're not gonna see all of it, he will like go from Dalton up to what's the
not Ruby Falls.
No, it's LeVar Burton, Tennessee.
Lebanon.
Spelled Lebanon, pronounced Lebanon in all the creative ways.
Tennessee.
Yellow Lemon, Tennessee.
He'll go,
Mr. Yellow
Lamb
he'll go
onion.
up there, and then like actually from Dalton he'll probably go from Dalton to Chattanooga, since it's like kind of on the way. Because at this point, y'all, I don't know where y'all are. Like we
got to figure out.
Yeah, like
we'll talk about the next place.
I don't think. Well, I meant like in episode 20. I don't know, like if you're in like Envato, Chattanooga, or Cherokee.
LeBunion.
But the next one, he is gonna go to Cherokee, and this is I'm just gonna say this, Delaney. I'm giving you a little wink because you know what's gonna happen.
Oh.
Yeah.
Please stop messaging Delaney asking about the show.
Yeah. I mean, she'll probably talk to you about it, but she won't tell. Actually, it would be fun if she just.
If she just quit talking to
Well, no. It would just be funny if she was like, Joel told me all the secrets. Here you go. Fuck you for trusting me. I don't think she would.
She would never.
But it would be funny.
That would be funny.
I would respect it as a power move, and I wouldn't stop working.
I wouldn't.
With her.
I would be, my feelings
I
would
think
be
it's
hurt.
funny. I would think it's funny.
We're built different.
Yeah.
This is the same as the dating thing.
Yeah, very different.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's a betrayal of trust. You're like, respect.
Yeah, respect. You're like, well, I mean, you gotta give her.
You look at that hand that feeds you. You got like, I'll bite that real fast. Yeah.
Like, you're not patching up the well either, are you? Yeah. So, anyways, I'm really excited. Mr. Yellow's great. All the music is very good. Like I said, Sarashu did the Hellblockers theme, and I would, thank you all for all the money you give us, because that's literally how we get to keep making these songs. I wish we had so much more money so I could literally just like anytime I had like any new idea, I'm like, give me a song for this. But I knew that the Hellblockers were going to come in for like a two-parter like episode, and their second part will once again just be Tim, Carly, and Branson all stand alone, and then they're each going to come in to an individual episode of their own and interact with the cast. Originally, I was going to make it to where y'all were like at a motel or a hotel, and you see this on TV, and you're like, hey, what's this? And I was going to make sure where y'all characters are watching it. But then, once again, if you're not caught up on episode 19, then we killed Ron. And I was like, oh, yeah, y'all aren't just going to go fucking chill out and be like, what's this fun?
Yeah, like trash TV and morning.
Yeah, and it's just Ron's dead corpse next to you.
This weekend at Bernie's. He's too heavy, though. He's too big.
Too heavy. So, yeah, that was the original plan, is to have y'all watch it. But then I was like, but actually, I like this better because I already knew by the time we started Arc 3 that we were going to kill Ron. I think like it was like the second or third episode, me and Paul talked afterwards. I was like, oh, we're going to kill Ron. Because you, Shannon, said something as Marlon of like, you like something's not your fault or some shit like that, and I was like, "Oh,
some will be.
I'm gonna kill Ron and make it Marlon's fault."
Is it Marlon didn't have enough? Shit on his brain.
You just said something. I was just like, "I'll fucking show this little shit." And then so I did know that, but I had the fun with that, and so so Mr. Yellow will come back in Hellblockers Part 2.
You love giving every character PTSD. That's part of the Joel trifecta.
You have to
it's drugs, dead parents, PTSD.
I don't always. Once again, I'm pointing this out. I don't always
name a main character you haven't given PTSD to. Oh wait.
I think he was gonna say he doesn't always do all three of them.
I was gonna
once.
say always do the dead parents because a couple of the dead parents things that have come up recently have been guests that did dead parents on their own.
I was talking about PTSD things.
Well, no, everyone has PTSD.
No,
I don't
know. Like lots of people don't. That's why we have a name for it.
What?
I mean, Joel,
I know not everyone wants to kill their parents, but everyone's got a little. I remember Allison was talking to me. This is. I think we might have talked about this on a post show already. But I remember we were talking one time. It was just like PTSD, and then we were talking about something. And then you said just like in a joking, supportive way, you're like, oh yeah, isn't it fun when like you realize that you hate yourself? I went, oh fuck, that's what it is.
Oops.
No. It was like I think it was talking about like trying to like dress up differently, and I was like realizing the stuff, and I brought it up to my therapist, and then she was just like, let's talk about that more. And then I was like, also another thing Allison was talking about was like PTSD stuff, and then a lot of things she was saying, I was like, fuck, that sounds like exactly like a lot of the things I do, or like my triggers and my responses. And my therapist was like, I've diagnosed you with PTSD. Like, I've told you have PTSD. and then I was just like, fuck, you know what Allison said another thing of PTSD was? Forgetting and blocking things out. So I guess I did that because of the PTSD.
And your therapist is checking off boxes on the DSM-5.
I was
that
up.
one too.
I've gone to her long enough that she understands my sense of humor. But I was just kind of like, I did forget about that. Why? Because I blocked it out. Like, I don't know what most of my childhood was. Who knows why?
I remember my
just
childhood
a good time
before I had PTSD.
Yeah.
It was different.
I have like very small
cool.
memories, and then just like I'm just like, yeah, here's like one memory for first grade, here's like one for second, then we're in fourth grade, then we're in seventh grade, and then I smoked weed from like sophomore year on, and that's
totally unrelated to any of them.
There's no reason why I went to drugs in comedy. Everyone does it. It's the natural progression.
Everyone does stand up.
Both of those things are super cool.
Everybody wants to have attention with a wall in front of you.
Like the yo-yo guy.
Yeah, the yo-yo guy.
Do you think he has PTSD?
I would if I was trying to do yo-yo tricks with drunk people attacking me.
What drugs do you think the yo-yo guy prefers?
Ecstasy.
Just that yo-yo, baby.
90s, right? Yeah,
just that yo-yo.
Oh, my idea is that he doesn't do drugs.
Actually, I will say
straight
probably
edge yo-yo.
ecstasy or some kind of hallucinogens. There's this one time I was doing a shit ton of mushrooms, and then I went to my old landlord's apartment. He's the guy that I used to smoke a lot of crack with. And then
for more on Joel's old landlord, see previous episodes.
He's also probably dead. He was like in his 50s. He was smoking too much crack. Even for people that
some
smoke
people
crack.
might call that Eddie. But
I once saw his chest like physically moving because I could see like his heart like horse fucking beating him. And then I talked about a bunch on the show, Ben Park. Like I remember like looking at both of them like I can physically see the outline of your heart in your fucking chest right now. We gotta stop. Also, they're doing too many puns. Anyways, I went to his house one time. I was on a bunch of mushrooms.
Sorry?
I was doing a bunch of mushrooms.
No.
And I
No, just keep going.
Yep.
No, because we were like, this was like at the end of like a 3 or 4 day crack bender, and I was just like, yo, I'm going to bed, I'm stopping. And they're like, what? They're like, because they would not stop talking in puns. I'm not just saying they were doing lots of puns. They wouldn't say anything
They were
unless
like
they could
talking in
make it in
riddles?
puns and real riddles. And then I just looked at
crack
them.
riddles?
I looked at them and I was like, I've had 3 different interventions for crack from close personal friends. I'm lying to my brother, my girlfriend, everybody because of how much I love crack cocaine. And I'm saying this to let you know I'm going to leave and stop smoking crack today because I fucking hate how much you're doing puns. I hate how much you're doing puns more than I love crack. And right now, crack is the thing I love the most. And I'm just trying to state this. And then I made... his name was Brent, the landlord. I was like, now you give me some fucking weed because I'm going to go downstairs and smoke myself to sleep. And I don't want either of you to fucking talk to me. And he gave me weed. And I went downstairs and smoked myself. But anyways, back to the yo-yo man. I did a bunch of mushrooms. And then went to his house. And then he was like smoking. I wasn't smoking crack anymore, but he just kept going to his apartment to smoke crack. But he had this like giant open ballroom that was called the party room. He used to throw these awesome parties in all the time. And then it was like, there was no AC in there. It was like summertime. And he was just like, yeah, let's hang out. We can like chat. And he was like, I'm going to get some ice buckets and we're going to take like, like towels and you can wrap them around. So if you get like, hot, just like dip them in. So that there's just numerous like little like washcloth towels and stuff like that. And I could never do this again, but I was on so much fucking mushrooms that I was just like tossing them up in the air and like spinning them and like dancing to David Bowie and old Prince and just like had the best night. He wasn't there most of the time, and I was just like throwing the shit up in there. And that's the shit like on like ecstasy and mushrooms. You're like, oh, you'll have these like super fucking crazy dexterity abilities, and then the next day it's like, oh, I can't lift my fingers.
So you were like tossing towels like pizza dough in the
well,
air?
like pizza dough, but then also like catching them behind my back and like spinning them and like doing like weird tricks. That's what I bet the yo-yo guy likes. That long story that made everyone sadly quiet for 5 minutes.
I've heard it before.
But I think everyone has PTSD is what we're saying, right?
No, they don't.
You and the yo-yo guy,
everyone
maybe.
in Joel's games.
That is true, though. I will say, I fight back on the parent. I don't make everyone have dead parents because it's funny to then make people have nice, supportive parents as an attack on the people with bad parents.
Yeah, that's called the exception that proves the rule, Joel.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's a funny thing. Not everyone does drugs. Everyone is for sure bisexual. But the PTSD, I can't come back on that one. That's
you said some things towards the end of the episode about what happens when you die and that your nerves are imprinted with what happened and then that's just how you feel forever.
Yeah, that's
PTSD.
That's from my that's a good bit. That's from my dad. I remember at one point he was telling my oldest brother Michael the reason why he's scared of death is he thinks that your soul is trapped inside of your body and you can still feel and experience everything afterwards. And that's why he's scared of dying because he doesn't want to feel, because he doesn't know if he wants to get cremated or buried because he doesn't want the sensation of being burned alive, but he also doesn't want the sensation. He wouldn't be alive! But he thinks he feels it.
Yeah, I know.
And so Michael went and pulled up a bunch of like medical research. He was like, here's your nerve centers. Here's once you die, it stops. Like this, we have proof. We don't necessarily have proof that there's no afterlife, but we do have full proof that the things that make
this
you
part
feel.
Ends, yeah.
So that was stolen from my emotionally stunted shitty dad.
So that's not what you believe.
No, I think everything goes dark, and then that sucks because then how can you get compliments and have people experience you?
There is a subset of the Anglican Church that does believe the thing Joel's dad said.
Also,
it's just a coincidence.
This is something I just had a revelation in therapy with because we were talking about why I'm so I don't want to die so much opposed to normal people. And I think about death constantly. I really do. It's a detriment to myself. But a lot of it is because I had such a shitty childhood that in my head I don't think I should ever deserve to die because I lost 18 to 24 years of an actual good life where I liked myself and things. And so I think it's not fair that I don't get that back and I just have to accept it.
Joel, bad news about fairness.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's the thing I'm working on in therapy right now. But that's a revelation we just had because we were trying to figure out what it is at the core of why I think about death so much and I'm obsessed with it and also want to avoid it. Also got to go head towards it.
Allison, do you want to write this down for an insightful conversation later that Joel can repeat back to his therapist?
And then Allison said,
"No, both Allison and both Allison's and my therapist know each other, but don't know, but they know of us by name. Allison is somebody that if I talk to my therapist, she'll be like, can you call someone? Can you call Rachel? Can you call Allison? Can you call Claudia? They for sure know.
My therapist said something that just a couple weeks ago that I told her I reached out to you about something and she was like, I'm proud of you for reaching out. Also, your friend Joel said so many right things that I want to give him a gold star.
Yeah.
So I immediately texted Joel and said, we won therapy.
No,
I got a good grade in therapy, which is normal.
I texted you being like, I just talked to my therapist what we talked about. Yeah.
You guys are cheating at therapy is what you're doing.
I think we're having a support system.
No, that's a big thing that they want you to do, apparently. Anyway, so
we'll
help
save
blockers.
You guys.
I need them to block me from myself.
That's what.
I wanted to talk to you about the end of life stuff because that was deeply upsetting to me. I hope nobody thinks that except your dad.
Yeah, I did want it to be deeply upsetting because I thought it was funny. that the ghosts feel all those things. And to me, in this fiction, it's not that it's whenever they're going through the transition of like the ghost loop into transition to, oh, well, I'm just a ghost now. I think that time whenever they're experiencing like the fear and terror of learning that they're dead, they're constantly feeling the thing that they felt when they last died. That was just a little goof.
Just a little goof.
Y'all like comedy? So not
Silly.
everyone has PTSD.
Yeah, some of them are dead.
Yeah.
Sometimes people go through life without horrific trauma.
And I don't know any of those
We don't make
people.
content for them. They're fine.
Yeah.
They're not funny. That's the thing.
No,
They're watching Ted Lasso and having a
I know
good
some
time.
people without PTSD that are funny, and where do they get off?
Who?
I don't know.
Name one.
I'll say this: I just definitely know I do know some very well-adjusted people that are just funny and
Do you think they've already done the therapy so we didn't see
I don't know.
the
Two of the people I'm thinking about are British, so they might not know what
no,
I'm
no,
mentioning.
no, that's just
they
the accent,
bury
dude.
everything.
That's
Yeah.
accent. The stiff upper lip and all that.
I've talked about it before. Tom and Tom. Once again, shout out to Critical Bits. They were the namesake of Tom and Tom. They did the show Head to Table. Hilarious, very creative, very good. They just stopped after the first season. They took a break and said they're going to come back. I ended up talking to one of them. I was like, "Why'd y'all stop?" They're like, we did like 22 episodes. We got to meet you. You came out as a guest. We had a really good guest episode with you. We kind of figured like we did it, so let's just move on. And then they're just working day
And
jobs.
then Joel's like, what?
I was like,
How are you not
You
making
stop
100 more
something?
podcasts?
yeah, I was just like, what do you? So you think you're better than me? You think you can just move on?
Hey, Joel.
Yeah.
This might be something you could bring up with your therapist.
No. I don't want her to know that I'm not the cream of the crop.
I'm just waiting for Joel to say again. So everyone doesn't have PTSD?
I keep
You said it, like,
forgetting that
5
you told
times.
me. Was the
You know,
thing.
like,
Allison
not
said the
everyone?
wildest thing the other
Allison
day.
said the wildest thing. Paul mentioned that other people don't have PTSD. Did y'all hear about this? Y'all.
That's a rumor.
That's a rumor.
I've heard.
Yeah.
that
Testing's
rumor.
still underway. We're doing a statistical sample.
Yeah, don't tell me if you tell me you don't have PTSD, I'm expecting you to go up a patron level. Like, can we
There's
make?
like a fee.
We've been talking about that, like, because we also shout out to all the Eternal Light level patrons. We're filled up at 25, which is tight. We're not going to increase that number because we did want it to be exclusive, but we were talking about like if we could think of anything for a higher, more exclusive tier,
40 or 50.
something like that, and we once again like limit it. And
I don't have PTSD
I
now.
was
It's
like, yeah.
$100.
Yeah, so I say now it's gonna be no PTSD. You just fucking walking around. You think a thought, and you're like, that's okay, and you move on with your day.
Getting all your
I'll
tasks
say,
done.
I'm gonna bet most of our fans do have some spicy brain or PTSD, though. I'm not saying
Yeah.
all of them do, but we definitely have a type.
I'm imagining the most normal person ever listening to this podcast and be like, that was enjoyable.
That is because, like I said, we have a fairly active Discord.
And they're British and they're drinking tea.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I don't have PTSD.
We do have a fairly active Discord, but like we have like around 150 patrons right now, and we for sure don't have 150 like active people. There's a few patrons that have like talked to me through Patreon and other like on like Twitter DMs. But I will say the ones that are also pretty active are mostly little spicy brain queers, which you love to see it. But I maybe there is just somebody real chill.
If you're the one,
Or what if
don't
there's
tell us.
someone
Leave us a
who
mystery.
is like that, but they know that it sets them apart, so they act. They're like, yeah, that's really relatable.
Yeah, you're like, I struggle with my thoughts too.
I have
don't-
nightmares.
yeah. My mom doesn't call me every day and just say how proud she is of me unprompted.
Mom, I'm sorry I lied about you on the internet forum. I love you so much.
And she's like, was it to make people feel better about themselves? Because I told you that's the exception.
Of course it was, Mother. My favorite podcasters. They're sad.
The podcast man is sad, Mommy.
Mama.
This one was
weird.
so weirdly off the
This
rails.
is taking me to not like a bad place, and I'm upset. But remember, because my dad died when I was 14, and I was in high school.
Yeah.
And people got to have 2 parents.
Yeah.
And they got to have a normal life.
Do you
where
want to
they didn't
add
have
a patron level?
Yeah.
For I have 2 parents.
You fuckers.
Yeah, what do you want? What do you? We'll give you. You love coffee. You love little treats.
I do love little treats, and I do love coffee.
We'll do like a $50 level. That's like a split. Like mine is. You don't.
So
have
you have
PTSD.
2 parents who love each other and love you.
Yeah,
tax.
you have 2 parents. What do we got for Paul and Allison? This is like we're doing like a joint one. That's why it's $50.
Yeah.
You have to like hit the.
What does coffee have to do with it? I get coffee.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, that's what we'll do with the money. Instead of sending out postcards and swag bags, we will buy ourselves little treats.
I think. Well, mine would be you've never had a significant other die.
Ooh, there we go.
Obviously. Yeah.
When then once again, significant other, not parent. You gotta have both.
Those are two. If you don't have,
These are separate. These are
Does it
separate.
count?
If you have both, I'm sorry.
Does it count? Yeah. We'll give you a coffee. Does it count if you were broken up and over them when they die, or we're just talking about?
Ooh, how long?
Because then I have both.
How long were you together?
Bingo.
Then I get both.
Yahtzee.
It's $150
Shannon's
now.
dunking on Allison right now.
Life is pain.
I'm not going to quantify other people's grief.
Fair enough.
But it is more dramatic if you are
if you're
actively
okay.
together when it happens.
Fair. And then Paul Byron, close us out.
I just want to call it. We're naming the tier PTSD's nuts. And it's $200 now.
Yes.
Because Joel has to do all these puns that he had to quit crack over. So
no, I don't hate puns because you would not be on the show.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
I was thinking that.
If we're up for 3 fucking days.
No, Joel, I wouldn't dare do anything like that. I'm so much older than
Here's
staying up
the
for 3
fun
days.
thing about crack. It's called a head ringer.
What?
Go on.
So when you're smoking crack,
Yeah, I want to say that the rest of us, to my knowledge, have not done a 3-day crack bender.
I don't.
Or any crack.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I didn't want to speak for y'all. I also have never smoked crack.
No, I've never smoked
It's
crack.
It's not the end because it's usually like one of the first hits, especially the first hit of the day, or if you haven't smoked a little bit, it's the first like real good, that good big nice crack hit. And I do not know like the physical way that it makes you do or what reason it makes you do it, but you smoke crack and like it's like tinnitus, like you can't hear anything around you.
So it's not like the wub wubs from.
No, it's not the wub wubs.
Fishing out. I got the.
And like that, and for those like 4 minutes, you were like, I could rip God's throat out and do better than them.
You know, it's funny that you say that because like in movies, when a character is having like a panic attack or a PTSD thing, I've noticed a lot of editing style. They like will drop the ambient volume and like pull up a ringing noise like.
Yeah.
And like so.
There are other because like there's definitely like other things that cause it, but I don't know what it is. But that is like let's just Google this.
If you're a crack
It's
scientist,
your physical reaction.
Your positive experience with a good hit of crack is now what is being used to show PTSD in TV.
that head ringer, it will make you not give a fuck that all of your friends and family are concerned. You just keep lying to them just to get that good ring, baby. Anyways, Brendan Fraser, I hope that
Wait.
Joel won't hit.
I would say too, Joel doesn't currently
close.
smoke crack. We do not.
what is that?
Supraglottitis. That's Mark Frost again.
Oh, that's why I didn't hit.
I really enjoyed Greg telling Deacon to shut up.
I was like, oof.
Because what did Marlon said something at Trailway that
he
got
said,
him in
"Shut
trouble.
your mouth."
Oh yeah, but it was about the
when
words.
he's the Deacon, he's like, "Shut your mouth," and he's like screaming about him. He's like, "You coming here to save me?" And he's like, "Shut up, shut up, shut up."
Yeah, that was great. I
didn't mean it as in shut up. He meant to keep the worms out. He wasn't being intentionally rude.
Yeah.
And Greg meant it as
he was like, shut up.
That was also funny because there's a lot of parallels between Hell Blockers and like what y'all's interactions were with everybody.
Which is funny because I don't think they listened to the episode, right?
Like I said, they hadn't listened to anything yet. I don't.
Here we go. Reddit. Thank you.
Oh, there we go. Just so you can really
Our smoke crack.
You can really get a rush. Okay, crack.
Joel's interest.
Crack versus IV Coke rush. Ears ringing. Just found out that you can get a really good get a really good rush with ear ringing from crack cocaine if you smoke a rock big enough. I was smoking big rocks, y'all. Not to brag. So does everyone have PTSD or not? Did we clear that up? I had.
Okay, you're doing a lot of IV Coke.
I had read.
Also,
I had read that, but never. Yes,
these people don't want to make it past like 30.
Oh yeah, you
they have to be 18 to post in this forum.
I 100% from up until like 24 was like, oh, I'm gonna die before I'm 30. I don't have to make plans.
I thought I would make it to 18, but I was not smoking crack.
I had read enough but never reached that effect when smoking it. I've smoked it only a few times before doing IV, then did a lot of IV coke. So this time I was specifically looking for that kind of rush or flash, as they call it in Italy. So after realizing that I was close to there with a regular hit, I took a bigger one. My friend said that rock was enough for 2 big hits. Then the train rang the bell. LOL. So I think I'll do it this way in order to not have bruises or scars on my arms and legs.
I like Joel is laughing. They're both looking at the street. Paul looks concerned
And this last
sad.
sentence is a killer.
And also sometimes I miss the vein because I don't really have visible veins. Ugh, my arms are fucking crawling right now. I can't do intravenous stuff ever. But I think But I think it will be even more expensive than IV. You need more for the same effect, and
not
it gives
how
a similar
cocaine
craving
works.
and addiction.
That's not how crack works. The whole point is it's cheap.
Well, no, he's talking about
IV coke.
because you're shooting it like you need less coke for IV than you do for like crack smoking or snorting, but definitely more than snorting. Also, it doesn't seem bad for my lungs. When I smoke heroin, I cough for a week, but crack goes smoothly. Maybe it's because
maybe because there's no cutting agent.
It's so bad for your lungs. You
cocaine.
cough up this like weird. You start to get this weird like black phlegm, and you start to taste like metallic stuff all the time. And it's like it is the actual like chemicals like coating your lungs.
You're not. Yeah, the
But
CIA
here's the
didn't
thing,
bring
though.
this to you because it was fun and cool.
Here's the thing.
Nope.
All that.
No. Listeners, ignore this.
I feel bad saying it, but I still don't think I've ever felt anything. Not saying that I've never felt other good things.
Listeners?
But on this whole separate track, nothing's ever compared to a headringer from crack.
Which is why it's bad. Because it will suck the
once
joy
again,
out of everything.
There is a reason why drugs have to be so fucking good that you're like, nah, I'm going to lie to everybody. I'm going to mortgage my house,
They have
steal
an
from people.
unfulfilling life.
Yeah.
Where you
But
steal
if
from
you-
your family.
If you want to get people to stop doing drugs, puns.
Temporarily,
Dude.
you just get it for the night. I smoked crack again after that. What made me quit smoking crack was constantly having mental breakdowns, and then the continued lying to my friends and family, and then also just having my whole life consumed by being like, I have to go to work, I have to do this. What time can I go smoke crack again? Because that's all I care about.
That's why you quit smoking crack.
Yeah.
But and then you quit doing cocaine because of the heart attack.
Yeah. So it's not.
So anyway, we usually close the show by giving out a message to Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, Mr. Fraser. I just hope you don't have PTSD, and if you do, I hope it's your managing
Spoiler
it.
alert!
I know. I'm saying.
I mean, not to be an armchair psychologist.
But I hope that you have a good support system. I hope that you know that you're loved and cared for by the people close to you. And I hope you find joy equivalent to a headringer. Not from a headringer. I said equivalent.
None of us said anything.
I
You
made a
all
face.
gave me faces.
We made
This
faces.
is
This is a long one too. We went off the rails.
I like how we didn't even say anything, and you would start.
I can
yelling.
we weren't even in this episode.
We didn't even. I hope Brendan Fraser, if he likes Ecto Cooler, he can have some.
Brendan Fraser, I hope that if you are interested in therapy that you've gone, and I hope you won like Joel and I did.
Yeah.
Gold star.
Brendan Fraser, I hope you get to go to the 90s themed pinball bar and see the yo-yo guy.
And once again, thank you to Branson Reese as Hunter.
I was so thrilled to be on this episode. I appreciated it very much. Thank you.
Carly Bernardo as Andy.
Hey guys, thanks so much for listening, and can't wait to see you next time. Like and subscribe.
Tip Black.
We're a trio.